All right, so should we agree then that it's Teoscar Hernandez and Noelvi Marte who are the biggest risks in the first 10 rounds of being this year's Nick Castellanos? We're going to put them as bigger risks than Agustin Ramirez. All right, so Teoscar Hernandez may be one of the biggest worries so far on this list. Should note that Hernandez only put up 0.6 WAR according
Oh,
to Fangraphs last season. Yeah, the year
yeah.
before that, 3.4. He's got another 3 and another 4 on there in recent seasons, but he's trending in the wrong direction. He only had a 284 on base percentage last year. Still had enough power that he was an above average hitter, but just barely. It all added up to a 102 WRC plus. So for a corner outfielder who doesn't really run, doesn't have much defense, he can't really afford another step back. So anybody taking a bet on Teoscar Hernandez is really hoping for no aging in his age 33 season. Should we go to the final guy on this list here, Noelvi Marte, who is projected for just 0.6 WAR, and that's over 537 plate appearances. This is not just the projections saying, I think there's no room for him on that Cincinnati depth chart, but hey, that Cincinnati depth chart is still fairly crowded. It's been a theme in recent years that there's maybe one, two too many players who look like they could be viable major leaguers. Noelvi Marte can't afford to have a bad couple months to start the year. And, you know, this is the guy who, for his career, has been worth 0.2 wins above replacement. He's coming off his best year, where he was worth 1.1 in 90 games. So that's getting close to average regular territory. Maybe the projections just don't know what to do with a guy who has a PED suspension in there and some really bad numbers at the start of his career. Maybe this is just the projections being confused, but I was surprised to see the number just so low for Noelvi Marte. Should we be worried?
Yes, extremely worried. I did not realize the number was this bad, 0.6 WAR. Like that is pretty truly horrendous. Noelvi Marte, just at the price, you're paying a 140 ADP, a pick 140 there for someone with a very limited track record. Who, I mean, the Reds have sent him to the minors multiple times before, so it's not like, you know, they are truly invested in Noelvi Marte at this point. And I think you've got like Christian Encarnacion Strand down there. You've got Sal Stewart that's up and should play. Like there's just a bunch of bodies at corner outfield, third base, corner outfield, corner infield, that if Noelvi Marte, like, yes, I think he starts with the team and starts on opening day, but we've seen pretty rough stretches from Noelvi Marte before. I think if we get another one, there's a very real chance Noelvi Marte certainly is benched, but even worse, sent down to AAA. And I just think, like, yes, there's a ceiling there. This guy's only 24 years old, and we saw really nice spurts from Noelvi Marte in 360 plate appearances last year in Cincinnati, but man, the floor is very low. The floor is lava, as my kids would say. The floor is in the minors, and with the floor that low, I just, the way that I draft, I can't spend a top 150 pick on that type of profile.
All right, so should we agree then that it's Teoscar Hernandez and Noelvi Marte who are the biggest risks in the first 10 rounds of being this year's Nick Castellanos? We're going to put them as bigger risks than Agustin Ramirez.
Yeah, I think Marte, the riskiest. Maybe Teoscar after that, again, kills me. I think the bat improves with Teoscar Hernandez, so I think he'll beat that 1.6 WAR projection, but it's something to certainly consider. And I'll defend the honor of the goose, Agustin Ramirez. I think he's in the clear. I'm not too worried about him, despite the admittedly very low WAR projection this year.
All right, so that's the players projected for less than 2 wins above replacement, so less than an average regular going in the first 10 rounds. We will move on to some players who are projected for less than a win and a half, who are still going in the top 200 picks right after this message from our sponsor, Fantrax. Fantrax is the most customizable fantasy platform in the industry, offering the greatest fantasy experience for your dynasty, keeper, redraft, and best ball leagues. Coming from another service, Fantrax makes it easy. Fantrax can import any of your current leagues and customize if needed. Fantrax offers the most in-depth player pool in the industry, including minor league players. Do you need a customizable commissioner service for your fantasy league? Fantrax offers more customization than any other platform. Waivers, categories, scoring system, schedule. Fantrax offers custom solutions for all that and more, and it's all free. Sign up for free today. Simply go to fantrax.com/rotowire and sign up today. That's fantrax.com/Rotowire. Fantrax, the home of fantasy sports. And welcome back to the Rotowire Fantasy Baseball Podcast. Eric Halterman here, joined by Ryan Bloomfield of Baseball HQ, discussing the candidates for next year's Nick Castellanos. We're going to move on to the players projected for less than a win and a half in just a second, but we've got a couple interesting questions here. Thanks to everybody who joined us live in the YouTube. We've got a question about Marcel Ozuna, who fits, I think, with today's theme somewhat, although he must have been projected for just a little bit too much to fit on any of today's lists of players. Looks like he's projected for 1.1 WAR. MJ here says they've been drafting Ozuna in around 22 to 25 in 12-team draft and hold, so that's pick 250, 275-ish, if my math on the fly is right. What are your thoughts on him signing with the team this year? He did put up incredible numbers in 23 and 24. I mean, this is the guy whose playing time could really zero out. Marcel Ozuna might just not find a team because A, the performance trending in the wrong direction, B, some off-field things where you worry a team might just not want that guy on their team if he's not going to be a star. Unfortunately, that is how things tend to go. Are we worried about Marcel Ozuna bottoming out?
Yeah, it's certainly a wide range of outcomes because I think the later we go and closer we get to spring training, the riskier. And unlike with Harrison Bader that we talked about at the top of the show, kind of figured he would sign somewhere. I certainly don't think it's a lock that Marcel Ozuna signs with somebody. So it's a risky pick, especially in a draft and hold where you're stuck with that player all season. I actually like Ozuna more in fab leagues right now where you get the cheap price, and if he signs, great. And if Ozuna doesn't sign, oh well, you spend a late pick, you drop him, and you move on. You're going to churn that roster spot anyway. So yeah, I in a draft and hold, I've been staying away from Ozuna just because there are some Castellanos type qualities. If we bring it back to the theme of the show, or at age 35, this could dovetail quickly and doesn't provide any obviously defensive prowess at all. So still a chance it's a good pick. Just depends where / if Ozuna signs. And honestly, man, I haven't heard any kinds of whisperings, rumblings on Ozuna signing with anyone yet. Not to say it won't happen, but you're putting a little bit of a leap of faith there.